Today we're Group Gage, Ruby, and Maddie talking about the Passé Composé, French forward. This is Gage.
Hello. I'm going to teach you the Passé Composé. Okay. That's the past tense en français. You need a helping verb, which is usually avoir or être. And then you need your past participle, which is your verb.
Very good, Gage.
Thank you.
And here's Ruby.
Oh, hi! So I'm here to talk more about the Passé Composé. We are going to talk about avoir, which is a very common use of the Passé Composé. You use it with irregular verbs like manger, et nager, et blah blah blah. So you conjugate said verbs with avoir. To do that, it is j'ai, tu as, il or elle a, nous avons, vous avez, and ils or elles ont. When you are conjugating with said verb, you take any verb that ends in an er and turn it into an e apostrophe. Any verb that
Is it apostrophe?
shoot. It is not. A e with an ensemble aigu on top of it, an ir into an I, and a re into a u.
And now, Maddie!
Hey! So there are some verbs that you have to conjugate with être. Over here is how you conjugate être. Je suis, tu es, il or elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, il or elles sont. Now these verbs that you use with être, you can memorize because there's so few of them, and you memorize them. One version is of the house. So you have naître, which is to be born, devenir, mourir, to die, tomber, to fall, monter, to go up, descendre, to go down, rester, to stay, arriver, entrer, to arrive, to enter, aller, sortir, partir, to go out, and to go again, I guess. Venir, to come back, revenir, rentrer, retrouver, passer, to pass by. And that's the house. There's also Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp is another way to memorize être verbs. Gage, back up a little bit, please. Thank you. Okay, so to use être as your helping verb, you have to have an accent aigu on the E after the stem.
So it's kind of like avoir, but you add something else to it?
Yeah. So for singular female, you have the E with the accent aigu, because rester is an ER verb. But because it's female, you have to add an extra E. Like over here in my example, it's just the rester chez moi, because I'm the one who wrote it. For males, it's just the E with the accent aigu. For plural females, you have to have the two E's and an S. For males, it's just the E with the accent aigu and an S. Now, there are some even weird words in être. So some words don't have the E accent aigu. Most of them do. But venir, revenir, and devenir, because they all end in venir, have a U at the end. Ta-da!
And here's Gage.
And then the Passé Composé.
Look at the screen, Gage.
And what?
Okay, keep going.
Focus!
And you use avoir, the j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils, elles ont. You just told me the
No, I
I
didn't.
didn't tell you to yell. I told you to focus.
And here are some things that we use. This is faire, which is to do. Avoir, which is to have. Voir is to see. Être is to take.
So wait, how do you pronounce what they conjugate into?
Mettre is to wear. And prendre is to take. Okay. And,
What do they turn into?
What do they turn into?
Yeah, when you put them in the past, what do they turn into?
Oh, okay. So that's faire is the fait. Avoir is the Voir is the v. Être is the été. Mettre is me. And prendre is pre.
Okay.
We got an example here. It says, I had a dog.
Well, now what's in French?
J'ai eu un chien.
Okay.
And then the dog died.
Aw, poor doggy.
And now here's Maddie.
Yay.
Hey! So, I'm here to talk about reflexive verbs in the passé composé. Composé, passé. Yeah, don't mix that up because it's passé composé. So, reflexive verbs are all about what you do. So, I got up. I woke up.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, we're not really awake at all. I have or had fun. And for the passé composé, when you put it in past tense, you use être. So je suis, tu es, il, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, and ils, elles sont. So, as I pointed to earlier, here are just some of the reflexive verbs that we use almost on a daily basis. Se réveiller, se lever, se laver, and s'amuser. And I have some examples. So, je me suis amusée avec mes amis. So, I had fun with my friends. And, oh, this is what I forgot to talk about. The se that you see in front of the verb is what distinguishes it as a reflexive verb. So when you use, say, vous, it's vous. With news, it's news. Je me, tu t'es, il or elle sur, news, vous. Is it just sir? I think it's just
It's in the book somewhere. We're going on a scavenger hunt. Look at that. That's what we need to know. Right there.
Sir. Yeah, it's just sir.
Okay. In both my examples, I used I, so it's je me. And the second example is je me suis levée en retard. I got up late.
So, what do you need to do if it was a guy writing?
Okay, so it's kind of like with the être verbs where you have the e sans dum. If it was a guy, because I wrote it, there's an extra e. If it was just a guy, you would take off the e. So it would just be, Gage, why don't you come over here and read the guy part?
Right.
So just read example 1.
Okay. It says, je me suis amusé avec mes amis. Which means I had fun avec my friends.
Gosh
With
darn
my
it, Gage.
friends. And you can do that one.
Right, because there wasn't an extra e, it was written for a guy, which is why Gage had to come over and read it.
Okay, so what if it's two girls?
Oh, so for 2 girls, why don't we just use us? It would be elles sont. What should the girls be doing?
They should be getting up.
Getting up. Okay. lever pour l'école. You would add the extra E. You have the E accent aigu because it's an ER verb. For females, you have an extra E, and because it's plural, you have an S.
Okay. Well, thank you for describing this to me.
No problemo.
And that was Maddie!
And for ending, here's Ruby, Gage,
And
and myself.